Good evening, everyone. It is Friday night, and you might be saying, Friday night? What the heck? Yes, the week went that quick. I got Kenny and I got David, and we got a great guest for us tonight for everyone. So I hope you guys are all here and have something nice to sit back and relax with. So before we start the show, let me shout out. I got a little guy today. He turned 1, and we are super incredibly excited and happy to have him and thankful. So happy birthday, Murph Magic! And with that, let's start the show. So I'm gonna give it to Kenny and then throw it down to David. Kenny, how you been, man? I haven't talked to you forever.
It's been a long time. It's been longer than I'd like. How about that? Hey, but everything's good over here. Just another day in paradise. It was actually a very beautiful day today in California. So if you were here, you had a beautiful day you could not complain about. Unless something awful happened to you, then yeah, you can complain.
Yep. There are gray clouds in sunny parts of California some days, but hey, David, how are you doing today? What's going on in your part of the woods?
It's mighty windy over here. The last windstorm took care of all the tumbleweeds. So if you folks don't know, I live in Utah. It's kind of deserty. We get tumbleweeds. It's a bush. It grows in the middle of a field, and then the wind hits it, it breaks, and it rolls on away right in front of my Camaro when I'm driving down the road. It's kind of, when I'm in the Jeep, I don't care. I just drive right over it. It's going to die. But the last windstorm wasn't that long ago. So there's no tumbleweeds floating around. It's a good windy storm.
Tumbling tumbleweeds.
You ever seen those like old cartoons where they got like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner where they had the tumbleweeds, just like old movies, tumbleweeds
right before a gunfight
rolling down the road. Yeah, that seriously happens here.
Yeah.
Well, so guys, it is Friday night. We usually have a guest that comes on, but I want to let everybody know too, today is the last day to put your email in, try to win. It's real easy. The Colin Kaepernick signed jersey comes with a COA. You got an opportunity. You just got to email me. There's only been a few people to enter, and we really do appreciate all the support, but we'd like to give it to somebody who wants to win it. And I'm sure the people that's entered has, but if anyone who hasn't entered would like a chance, all you have to do is subscribe to David, me, and Korey Davis. And the email, the description, we'll throw the video at the end so you can see, how to enter. The giveaway will be tomorrow. The winner will be announced tomorrow, and we will go from there. And I just want to say good luck to everybody. But so, guys, there's all kinds of things happening. If you've seen the beginning of the video, it's from this side of the country to that side of the world. We have guests all over. We have co-hosts all over. But we have a good friend of the show, a good friend of mine, a brother, a true friend, a guy I've known, for more years than I can count. We have Aaron Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him on in.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, guys, this is Aaron. I've known him for quite a bit of time. Like I said, we go back to high school, and from there, we had some good times. There was a lot of adventures, and a lot of good times. But Aaron, I'd like to thank you again for coming on. It's always good talking to you. You've been all over America. I think when we last were talking, the crazy thing that I was going to do was move to Kentucky. Well, I ended up doing it, and then you almost blink and I'm back in California, and then the next thing I know, I'm blinking and you're gone, right? So it's kind of one of those things is in and out, and I really do. Time goes by. You still look the same to me. And if folks ever get to see our, yearbook, it's just a little bit maybe more hair puffed out for me, but I got the same glasses and Aaron's got the same smile. So, guys, this is Aaron Jones, not the famous football player, but the famous one, the only Aaron Jones. And why do you say it like that? Because Aaron is that guy. He's the guy that if you say in the middle of the night, hey, let's go do something, Aaron's down. if you need somebody, if you need somebody, you're driving across country, Aaron's your guy. If you need to text somebody randomly, something weird or funny, Aaron's your guy. And if you need a friend, Aaron's a true one. So, Aaron, thank you again for coming. And I'm gonna give it to Kenny. I'd like you to, start out introducing yourself to Kenny and David. I know you plenty, and everybody else who's here, I'm sure they'd like to hear you a little bit as well. So, we're gonna give it to Kenny and David to ask you a couple questions, and we'll throw it back to me. So, Kenny, this is Aaron Jones, the famous one.
Aaron, how are you? It's nice to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming on and gracing us with your presence. I don't know anything about you yet, but I'm sure I'll learn a lot about you by the time the season is over. I bet you I'll know a lot more about you. I'd like to know a little more about you when you were a young man. So if you can still remember, what are your funniest childhood memories?
My funniest childhood memory is me and my sister. I was probably about 9 or 10. We went camping with my dad at some lake in California. But we went fishing on the little dock there. And we were casting a couple times. We were good. And then my sister goes to cast. And she pulls and nothing happens. She's like, what? So she tries again. And all of a sudden we just hear, hey, you hooked me. It was probably one of the best things ever. This huge guy had to take off his shirt. And it was a scene. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Should I keep going or should I pass it to David? Should I ask him a couple questions in a row? Okay, Bryant's muted, but I got his body language told me. Do you like Star Wars by any chance, Aaron?
I mean, yeah, the 6 mainline movies they made, love them all.
Okay. Do you do any impressions? Can you do a Yoda?
Oh no, I can't do none. Yeah, I've never even really tried.
All right, no problem. Let me ask you this: do you know who will bring balance to the Force?
Like in new stories?
No, like the character. Which character in Star Wars will bring balance to the Force?
I mean, I would assume Luke or Yoda, one of those two.
That's not right, but that's okay because you didn't say you loved Star Wars, so
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader. But I feel like I know.
Oh, I guess they probably said that in like what 1 or 2 episode 1 or 2.
I think I figured it wasn't very hard, but there are a million things that you can take from Star Wars and interpret in your own way.
Yeah.
I believe the whole series pretty much comes from Japanese history, and it's very similar to Shogun, which is on right now. I don't know if you're watching that. You should check that out if you get a chance. Very good show. So this is a question. There's a Clone Wars in Star Wars, and so my question to you is, if you were cloned in the future and it was just all you, what would the future be like?
Did you ever play the Fallout and Meet the Garys? Yeah, it'd probably be like that.
Okay.
Something similar. Just pure chaos.
I agree. All right, and then let's get one more for you. Oh, I asked that one to Wolf, so I can't ask that one. And it's a little early. What would you do if you won $1 million?
See, I've asked myself the lottery question. What would I do? Not much, really. I'm not a big fan of money. I think it's truly the root of all evil, which makes it hard for me to love sports and see these sports players and be like, yeah, you're amazing. Why are you making so much?
Yeah, there's a disparity for sure. I do agree with you there because I know people who don't make much money and they haven't for years and years and years, but they're doing all right. And, these guys are making big money and they're complaining. But if you invest right, you'll never have a problem with money again.
Yep.
So if you're just smart, if you don't go out there and buy a dozen Rolexes and 2 different cars and a mansion and, pay for your boys to drink champagne every night at the club, you should be good. So I'm with you on that. All right. And one last quick football question, and then maybe they'll come back to me. Rate these 4 quarterbacks in order. They don't have to be of greatness, just to you. I've asked this question before too. John Elway, Peyton Manning, Donovan McNabb. What's your 1, 2, and 3?
Peyton 1. It's close for the next 2. I want to say McNabb and then Elway.
Great. Sounds good. All right, Aaron, it was awesome getting to know you a little bit. I'm going to pass you down to David. See what he's got for you.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
So wearing blue because Aaron Darnold retired. So
Yeah.
shout out to him. But so what is the funniest thing that's ever happened to you on a vacation?
Nothing really. I mean, it'd probably just go back to that fishing trip, beach, lake, whatever it was. Yeah, I haven't really, honestly, taken too many vacations. Probably when I was a kid, went on some trips, but besides that, since I've been adulting, maybe 3 vacations. And the worst one was finding out that to get from Pennsylvania to New York, 'cause that's where I'm at, is Pennsylvania, you have to go through like 15 different tolls in order to get there. That was pretty epic.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like there's a
These
part
are-
where literally you go from a toll about maybe a mile and there's a toll. And then you go down this hill and then there's a toll just to get into the state.
Sounds
That's
about right.
insane. That's like, I mean, in the area I live, there is one toll road. It will save you 20 minutes, but there's one toll road. There's no real tolls. It's like, I actually went to visit my family in the great state of Washington, and here and there, there's like a toll road to get somewhere here and there, and you go over some bridges, and while you're going over the bridge, you see a humongous like barge or ship under it, which is something you don't see here in Utah, But so he was asking you a Star Wars question. Out of all the Star Wars movies you've seen, what's your favorite one, and who would you like to be in any of these movies?
Oh, that's tough. The second part's tough. I want to say Obi-Wan, but Han seems to have more fun. So I'd probably have to go that route. But probably episode 1, to be honest. I really like seeing the first parts of Anakin's story.
Sweet. So say you could do one of these things: fly or read minds. Which one's more useful?
Flying. Yep, I can just go anywhere I want.
I don't want to know what's on someone's mind too much of the time.
How do you turn it off?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to meet somebody, right? You had to meet somebody. You couldn't get out of it, right? Or you chose to meet this person. That's a better way to look at this, right? Would you rather sit down and have to argue against Tim Pool or Joe Rogan on why hamburgers should be taken off the menu entirely? We're talking about eliminating the hamburger, and you are in favor of eliminating the hamburger, and you have to argue against either Tim Pool, and folks, if you haven't seen Tim Pool, go check him out. He's on YouTube, or check out Joe Rogan. Both of them probably really, really, I don't know. I don't know if I want to argue anything against either one of them. So, Aaron, pick your poison.
Probably Joe Rogan. It'd be fun to piss him off.
Now, that is somebody I'd like to talk to. So since coming back to California, I've been able to meet Mr. Elon Musk, and that was kind of really neat, being in the same room as him. And, working at Tesla in Fremont was a pretty neat experience, being up at nighttime and, just learning what it's like to work at nighttime. So since high school, have you had any nighttime careers? Are you a night owl?
No, I mean, I worked a janitorial shift at this like Christian theater that they had out here in Amish country. But I did that for about 2 or 3 years while I was doing a day job at the same time, all for the same company, just different divisions. But yeah, no. Ever since then, I do not like the night. I'm usually in bed by like 8:30. That's it.
Boy, has times changed, right? Because I
Yeah.
remember us having meetings, having fraternity meetings, and them starting around 8 o'clock and not getting done until about, well, it's too late for that. But so okay, so if you're not a creature of the night, are you a creature of habit?
Yeah, my habit is I wake up at about 3:34 in the morning with or without an alarm, no matter what time I do go to sleep. My routine in the morning is very precise, and it really throws off my day if it's not perfect. Like, say someone drank all the orange juice, and that's the first thing I do in the morning is walk downstairs, pour a glass of orange juice. If it's not there, my whole day is just kind of off.
So you said orange, and I'm glad you didn't say banana. So I got to ask you, is it cherry Kool-Aid or is it red Kool-Aid?
Cherry.
Cherry. Is it grape Kool-Aid or is it purple Kool-Aid?
It's great.
It's great. Okay. So folks, I'm asking everybody this question. I've been on different shows and I've been in chats and I've asked this question, and I'm building up data, and there's going to be a video that drops out. Everybody will see it. And I have this thing. There's a flavor called charcoalberry out there, and I know you know about it. And oh man, don't get me started on Tahiti punch, right? So there's a lot of different flavors out there, and I'm definitely going to explore the flavor aid aspect. And the reason I'm getting into it is we were talking at one point, and you were telling me about soda, and I think you said it was orange slice soda and flaming hot Cheetos. Is that still a balanced diet in your day-to-day life?
I mean, I haven't had flaming hot Cheetos in a while, but if I had a bag, definitely. I think I had a
Right.
slice. Yeah, I did have slice today.
Orange slice. Okay, so some things just are nice, and they never change. Well, I'm gonna throw it to Kenny. I got another question for you here in a minute or two.
All right, Aaron, what do you think? Well, are you a 49er fan?
I'm a Packers fan.
A Packers fan. What do you think about the Packers' moves and free agency?
I mean, I was sad to see Aaron Jones got traded or got let go. That was kind of sad. But I mean, we kept AJ Dillon. We're getting dude from the Raiders, Jacobs.
Wow.
Yep.
So I mean, that's a good move. I like him. I mean, he didn't do as good last year as he did his like all-star year, but still, he's very impressive.
That's because they have no passing game over there, but he should be good in Green Bay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who's your tight end? Tanyan? Is that you guys?
They have Musgrave and Kraft.
Yeah.
And Kraft.
Kraft. There we go.
They drafted both of them in 2023, I think.
That's it. All right. I just wanted to touch on sports for a second. And now, who is the first person on your hit list? People to kill list.
Oh.
Like Happy Gilmore.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry. Like Billy Madison.
I mean, it's probably illegal for me to say that. You
Yeah.
don't want like NSA swarming us.
True. All right. I'll give you another one. Do you believe it is possible to inflate a balloon underwater?
No, it should be able to be done.
All right. I don't know. I'm asking. All right. How about, what's the biggest lie you've ever told?
Oh man.
There's got to be a whopper in there, probably when you were younger, right?
Oh, I guarantee it. I'm used to small lies, like I'm not feeling good. I gotta go home, something like that. Big lie. Oh, that I no longer needed to take my medication when I was a kid. I used to be on not Ritalin, but it was something like that, and that just made me feel dead. Just wanted to basically lay there, not do anything, not sleep, just lay there. And then I basically just convinced my parents that I didn't have to take it anymore because the doctor let us know that at our last meeting, even though they definitely did not say that.
All right. Well, you know what's right for you, right? That's what I believe. One more. Who actually tests the specific dog food when they say that it has a new and improved flavor?
I mean, I would hope they're tasting it. That would be amazing to see. That's a horrible job, but it would be amazing to see.
Yeah, there actually is a human food taster for dog food. So,
Oh, that's gross.
Oh,
all right, I'm out of questions for now.
I sure hope that person's paid a lot.
Oh
They-
yeah.
Oh, I got to get a
You
paint.
know. So you're a Packers fans. What are your thoughts on Jordan Love? I mean, I watched him. You know, I'm in Utah. He went to Utah State. I watched him flash in college, but I also watched him throw a lot of picks. And the whole time I was saying, this kid he's got the talent. He just needs to be coached.
Yeah. I'm pretty much on the same page. He started off the season looking like he did back when he was at Utah, but he progressively just got so much better. And by the end of the season, I would say he's probably one of the better ones we had. Everybody loves Favre. I love Favre because I grew up with him. But I think Jordan Love can surpass him, like, easily. He's got the right staff. He had a good, like, the fact that Aaron Rodgers did do some mentoring of him. I think they over exaggerate how much he did, but the little bit he's done does seem to have helped.
As long as they didn't hang out in a dark closet together, I'm good.
Yeah.
But so you know, if you could have one human talent you currently don't have, what would it be?
To have timing with my legs. I don't have. I play a lot of instruments. I play drums, guitar, bass, but for drums, I can't do it anymore. About 5 years ago or so, I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré. Like, my whole lower body was just completely paralyzed. And ever since then, I've lost, like, the timing of being able to do, like, the bass drum and all that. Just there's no timing. After about 2 hits, it just dies.
All right.
And I really miss playing.
Are there any like programs for you to use? Like, I know the drummer from Def Leppard, he has one arm, right?
Yeah.
So he had to use pedals because he has feet
Yeah.
and one arm. So is there something you can do with your hands to simulate the drum beat from the bass drum?
Possibly. I've never really looked into that. There's probably something I could do. I mean, if I could do it if I turn the pedals around and basically just use an electric drum set, I can turn everything around and tap that way. So
Yeah,
everything's
you
hit
can
with
make
my
the
heel.
bass drum, right? You can make the bass drum another
Yeah.
thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's a way to
have
do
you
it. It's
tried
just,
to
it's
perfect
awkward.
that? Have you tried to
I've-
make that thing?
I don't have a good setup right now. My pedal basically just slides around. I should glue it to the ground because that's what they want you to do with the set, but I think that's just completely absurd. So, yeah, I'm just kind of dealing with it, trying to play when I can and hopefully angle it up so I could play for maybe half a song.
All right. So if you were going to choose basketball or football and you could only watch it like one more time, that's it. The game's over. And you're stuck with baseball. What would you eliminate?
Well, I mean, I'm happy with baseball.
Well, no, you get to stick with baseball,
I'm ready
but
for
you have
this.
to eliminate. All right. So since we're into baseball, right? What's your position? If you had to pick a position to be drafted at,
Oh, pitcher.
be a pitcher. Okay. When you look at pitcher, do you see it being similar to a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, a quarterback can get hit pretty hard, and if you've seen pitchers get hit with a ball after it's been hit, it's pretty nasty. But that's close. You have that same intimidation. You are basically you're the most important part of the team for that moment.
So, because I know I played football with you before a couple times, we played baseball a couple times. So when you throw a ball, when you're a pitcher, you pitch a ball, right, and you kind of aim it. How do you describe the difference in pitching compared to throwing a football? You're pitching a baseball. Do you aim a football when you throw it, or you just throw it? You just let it rip and just where it's going, or
I wouldn't aim just because you're letting everybody know where it's going then. So like baseball, I do aim. I'll put my mitt straight out towards the center. just line it up that way. But yeah, I can't do that with the football, or else you just gave up the play.
Okay. So now with football, if you had to pick a position, what would you represent yourself closer to? What would it be, a quarterback as well?
No, I'd probably rather do running back.
Running back. Okay. When you look at the positions in football and you look at like kind of like dying positions, right? Like fullback is kind of like a dying position. Do you see that similarly happening maybe with the running back position? Do you see fullback eventually going away and then running back going away, where this league's kind of going to more of a passing league?
Well, I mean, that rushing was basically what got every team where they were at the end of the season. They all just started, like the Packers especially. Aaron Jones came back and they had someone to finally just ram it through, give A.J. Dillon a break and just have someone rush it through as best as they can. And you have the Chiefs, you guys, the Niners had that. Like that rushing game just became super important again. I don't really see it ever going away. We're going to have those great quarterbacks, but it's going to always, in the end, come back to the running back.
Sorry, I keep muting because my British bulldog, my English bulldog, he keeps barking. He wants to be let out, and it's not happening tonight. But I'm going to keep you on if you want to stick on for a few more minutes. You're welcome to stay on as long as you can. We're going to keep the show to about an hour, but we're going to bring on our next guest. But before we do that, when are we going noodling? You know what I'm talking about.
You know what noodling is, right?
Oh, the fishing thing?
We're catfish. You know, you get you get it in the river, in the muddy part. You feel around with your feet. You find a hole. And then you put like this wire mesh glove that goes all the way up your arm on. You ram your whole fist in the catfish's mouth, grab its gills, and yank it out. And I mean, this thing it probably weighs 70 to 100 pounds.
I don't think you hurt the catfish at all. So if anybody's listening concerned with the animal, I don't think it happens at all. But you find a hole in the water, right? And there's people that take you on this. There's actually, like tour guides, right? And they get you to a catfish hole where there's a couple of them, and they say, okay, go ahead. And you put your hand in the water, and they clamp on, and you pull it out, and then you swing it around like it's a trophy, right? So I know you are brave. This is something that I could definitely see us doing sometime in the future. So you just let me know. It could be in Pennsylvania. You could come back out to California, but I just need to know, in or you out?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's bring on our next guest. If people might have seen him before, we got the captain. So we're gonna go back and forth with you and captain. And if you have any questions, because I know you've never met Jason, feel free. Jason's a great guy, and I'm bringing in Mr. Jason. Captain Niner Massey. Hey, Jason.
Aloha, faithful. How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
Great.
I don't know if I want to be here. All I hear is you guys talking about fisting stuff and getting arm deep and everything. I was like, I don't know.
Whoa,
this is the
we're
segment
talking
I
about
want to be a
going
part of.
elbow deep in a catfish, elbow deep in a catfish. It's like
I would definitely
all I
like
was-
to ask you. Since the whole catfishing joke, right? What would be a good fishing experience that me and you could go on up in Seattle? Would you be willing to go swordfish, or something, fishing, or what would be something up there in Seattle that would be similar to noodling?
Nothing. I don't really fish up here. Being from Hawaii, I'm more of a deep sea fisher. I've actually caught a 500-pound tuna. That was fun. That's my kind of fishing. Took me about 3.5 hours to pull that bad boy in. That's the kind of fishing I do. And like, I know a lot of people up here, they do salmon fishing and all that. Not for me. I want to get on a boat and go deep to sea.
All right. Well, it can definitely happen. It can definitely happen. So since you're from Hawaii, right? And I don't know if I've ever gotten a chance to tell you, Aaron's actually met my wife. And David's met her, and Kenny. So I have a redheaded Hawaiian. So are you a fan of Hawaiian punch?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I'm asking,
It's grape and red, Brian. It's grape and red, or red and purple. We had this conversation the other day. We were talking about this the other day at our show. It's you go by the colors. Like Darwin said, you're only a cop if you call it by the flavors.
Go ahead, Kitty. I don't think you've got to meet Jason before, so this might
Not
be the first time.
face to face, I don't think.
No, we've just talked to each other in chats and stuff like that. So it's good to finally put a face to it and everything.
Yeah. Okay, now that we have the captain here, I need to know, being a captain, what is your favorite citrus? Knowing how important, not getting scurvy is, do you
Lime.
like lemons, limes, or oranges best?
I'm a lime kind of guy.
Me too. I like that lime. Yeah. What's the greatest risk you've ever taken, Jason?
Risk?
Yeah, the biggest risk you've ever taken. People rarely take big risks because it's you got to think about it. It's a big risk. So,
I mean, climbing Mount Fuji, maybe?
nice. Did you think about committing suicide in that forest when you were in Japan?
No.
Okay, good. I don't want to hear about that stuff. But there is a forest, apparently. Am I right about this? In Japan,
Yes.
where older people will
Yes.
just go and put rocks in their pockets and then disappear
Yep.
into the forest?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you know what? Japanese people are really, they're really cool like that. I think that's kind of cool. I
I
don't want to.
basically grew up in Japan, so I was there from 8 until 18.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about it before. I think that's really cool. I think that's a place that I would really like. I like it to be very quiet and orderly and fun, but polite. Am I getting that there? A lot of respect, a lot of politeness.
But when you get to something like Tokyo is a freaking madhouse, man. I guess there's order to it, but it's controlled chaos.
Nice.
You know,
Well,
like you come to the sidewalks or it's like crosswalks and stuff like that. They don't have crosswalks like I think some places in the States are finally getting them to where in the States we go one at a time. You know, this way, and it goes one at a time.
Yeah.
In Japan, especially downtown Tokyo, they open up the entire intersection and everybody just crosses at once.
Crisscross,
And
across.
there's like 400 people just going like this across, and then it just ends.
Yeah.
Like people don't believe me. Like I live in Seattle now. The traffic here in Seattle, in Japan, there's half the landmass, probably twice the amount of people and twice the amount of cars, but everything in Japan moved orderly because everybody followed the rules. Here in the States, driving is like the Wild Wild West. You do whatever the hell you want for the most part.
Yeah, it is.
But in Japan, nobody goes over the line. Everybody goes in order. So you actually move a lot smoother than you do in like a lot of metropolitan places here in the States.
They have cooperation, which I
Yeah.
like. It's very helpful. Awareness, courtesy, cooperation.
Yep.
I like that stuff. All right, one last question. What are those things that you're too old to do anymore, but still enjoy?
Too old to do, but still enjoy. I don't know. It's gaming. A lot of people probably still consider me too old to gaming.
That's
But I
a
still enjoy.
choice, I guess.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if that's one.
I used
But-
to love playing video games. I don't play as much anymore. I guess mostly it's probably because of time, but I did enjoy just sitting there for 8 hours playing a game. I miss that.
Yeah, at some point tonight, I'm probably gonna get off this show. I'm gonna go play Helldivers until like 4 in the morning.
Nice. All right, who's up?
David.
Give me.
Hit him.
If you could, meet your younger self and give them a piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Run away. So back to the whole. Here's the thing. So back in the whole Japan thing, my dad was there because of the military. So he retired right before my senior year, and I didn't want to move back to the States. I wanted to stay in the States, or I wanted to stay in Japan. You know, all my friends were there. I didn't want to come back for your senior year. You don't know anybody. And my dad said, if you can find someone who will let you stay with him for your entire senior year, I'll let you stay here in Japan, and you don't have to come back with us. I had 3 families who were willing to take me in. And then the last second, my dad was like, "Nope, you're coming back to the States." So I should have ran away and stayed. I probably wouldn't be talking to you guys. I'd probably still be. I might be talking to you guys from Japan.
I don't think you
did
thought
not
you could
wanna
pull it
leave.
off.
Yeah, like I said, no, I probably could have, because I probably could have gone off base. I could have gone to down to South Tokyo. Or
No,
something.
I mean, I think your dad probably was like, he'll never find anybody to take him.
Oh
in.
yeah, I think for sure.
He was trying to teach you a lesson.
I know, man. In my senior year that I spent here, I hated it. I absolutely hated moving back here. So I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So, if you could be a superhero, though, like any superhero, who would you be?
I'd probably end up like Homelander from The Boys. I could just see it getting to my head, and I would just end up being an egotistical asshole.
Felix, I'm sorry. Aaron, do you have any questions you want to ask the captain? Anything you want?
Yeah.
Let's go with a basic one: pizza or tacos?
Ooh,
Tacos.
Yep, there we go.
yeah, man. You could. I love that too.
Nice to
I
meet
love-
you, man. My wife's a cheesehead, so I'm
Nice.
married. We get divorced every time our teams play each other.
We know
So-
the Packers well for a long time. I remember Don Mikowski.
Yeah,
Mikowski
the
was
Magic
first
Man.
Green Bay quarterback I knew.
Yep, the Magic Man back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we actually we try and do it to where I'm not sleeping with you this whole week. The last time we played them in the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, but the playoffs. So we had a bunch of people over at our house. We go down there, we kick a field goal to win. She gets up, doesn't say a word. She walks to the bedroom, just slams the door. And at this point, I'm just laughing my ass off because I find this hysterical. And then in 30 seconds later, the door opens, out flies a pillow, out flies a blanket, and the door slams again. And like I said, it just makes me laugh. My friends are like, "Are she that serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, she's ultra competitive, especially when it comes to the Packers stuff." So it's funny because half the house is Packer stuff, and the other half, you go into her craft room, which is across the way from here. I got all my Niner stuff in here. It's all Green Bay stuff on the other side of the house.
She's crocheting you Packer stuff.
She crochets me Niner stuff.
Oh yeah.
She knows better.
It should be
trying to get out to
be
that game this year.
reversible. She should make some reversibles.
I tried to buy her a little dog. We have a cute little Yorkie. I tried to buy her like a 49ers cheerleader outfit. She's like, no. She threw it away on me.
Yeah. You guys should have a competition where you hang one flag outside, whoever won last, until they
she
play
wouldn't do it,
again.
Yeah, she wouldn't do that. She hates getting in my car because it's got Niners stuff and flags all over it. I hate getting her truck because she's got Packer shit all over it.
Yeah.
I got to
All
drive
right,
her
so-
truck to work. People look at me like, what the hell?
I got two questions. I got a question for Aaron, and then I got a question for Jason. And we'll go Aaron first, and we'll go Jason. It's two different questions. Aaron, Digimon, or Pokemon?
Let's see. Got your answer right here. I got my little Digivice.
All right. So, Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh, Jason?
Oh, DBZ.
Okay, so Dragon Ball Z. I bring that up because I know the creator. I don't have his name.
Akira Toriyama.
Akira.
So, did Dragon Ball Z? Was there a moment in your life? And Aaron, I know you were a little bit of a Dragon Ball Z fan as well. Was there a moment in your life that it had major influence on you that you can think back? And I know it's a cartoon, it's kind of crazy, right? But there's certain times oh my God, when the Green Ranger turned into the White Ranger, I mean, the show was almost basically entirely over for me, but that was basically, I can totally remember where I was at in California, what I was doing, and what cereal I was eating when it happened. It was major. So is there a moment in Dragon Ball Z that kind of shaped your life, Jason?
Kind of all of it, because again, it goes back to me being in Japan. Dragon Ball used to come on Wednesday nights at 7:00, and we used to have get-togethers at people's house. I specifically learned how to speak Japanese just so I could understand Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball was a huge part of my life for a lot. It's not my favorite anime anymore, but it's still, had a huge point. Probably my favorite moment ever. Anything with Vegeta. I'm a Vegeta fan.
Aaron, same question. Can you give me a moment in the Dragon Ball Z series in your life, or if you don't want to say Dragon Ball Z, if there is another cartoon out there that kind of like you
Oh,
remember and it changed
okay.
something for you.
There's two then. If you're gonna say any part of Dragon Ball or something like that. So for Dragon Ball Z and the Cell Saga, when Goku stepped aside so Gohan could move forward, the whole self-sacrifice thing. He doesn't need to be the hero. He knows who is better. Don't hold everything back when you just because you want to be like, I guess, selfish in a way and take the glory. He knew to step aside. He knew his son could do more. Like it's the passing the torch thing. It's like it's the teamwork. Everybody should work as a team, just like in Japan. If we all worked as a team, we'd be so much better. But for any moment at all in Dragon Ball, it's Dragon Ball Super when Beerus slaps Bulma and Vegeta loses his mind. Yeah. That is the best moment ever.
The first time you ever actually like, oh yeah, he actually does love her.
Yeah.
All right, so if there is like a difference between anime and like the anime and comic books is really, they walk a fine line, but they definitely are two totally different beasts. So if there was a anime book title out there, what would you recommend airing?
I mean, there's a lot. My
So, like,
personal
mangas?
favorites.
Yeah, what would you throw out there for a beginner who's getting into something that wants to just read a graphic novel or
Beginner.
a magazine?
Oh,
Yeah, just anything really. What would be your go-to book? And I'm gonna ask you, Jason, same thing.
go-to book. I mean, I've only read a couple. I think one was King of Hell. I really like that one, but Barnes and Noble's only ever got the first 2 books and it just died after that. That one was really awesome though. But no, I didn't really read too much. I more or less just watched everything.
Okay. Jason, is there any graphic novel out there that you would tell somebody to want to jump into reading? Would you refer them to?
An actual graphic novel?
It could be a novel. It could be a comic book. What would you throw something out there to say, hey, I want you to read this? What do you recommend?
Only because I'm obsessed with it right now, I would say go back and read the original Bleach manga. Then you can work your way up to the 1,000-Year Blood War, which is still going on.
Well, I like comic books. I have probably too many to talk about, and I've always had comic books. I've always been one of those kind of guys. The Ninja Turtles fascinate me because they started out black and white, and they have an interesting story, The Last Ronin, and it's sad. If you guys want to get into something, I would recommend that one to somebody who wants to read something that's going to be pretty. I don't know. It's exciting. It's brutal. It's got a little bit of everything in it for you. It might not be for a beginner, but somebody who is of a mature. It's just somebody who wants to get away from just the everyday jokey kind of stuff. So with that, guys, there's been a lot of talk back and forth of this DC universe starting up, and this whole which way is it going to go? And I've been listening to a lot of talk about AI, and I like talking about AI because I think the more you talk about AI, the more people will get aware of it. So Jason, because I'm going to start with you because you're probably a little closer to it because you were actually there in Japan. What do you think about AI? Are you afraid of it? Are you happy with it? Do you fear it? Do you think we can regulate it? What's your thoughts?
Skynet is coming, but it's kind of cool to watch. I mean, we've already got people in the military who are learning how to use AI to direct troops so they don't have to. So while it's cool to see AI pictures and all that kind of stuff and see how AI writes stories, they're training it to do worse stuff. So as Skynet is coming.
Aaron, what's your thoughts? How do you feel about AI?
Basically the same. Yeah, like it's fun to play around with our little goofy things that we have, which I mean, more or less just an advanced search engine that can make pictures and nonsense. But yeah, the stuff that's really going on with AI, that's the scary stuff. What people are doing with it is terrifying. Even the scam stuff, like it's to the point where a lot of people are starting to get afraid to even answer their phone because they get that voice clip of you and they have your identity essentially to do stuff.
Just 3 seconds of your voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why whenever I answer the phone, if I don't know the number, I don't use my voice. Like I drop it
I just
down
don't
low or
answer.
go up high. Yeah.
Never say yes or no to somebody you don't know on the phone, because that can get used against you.
Okay. So here, I'm going to give it to everybody after this, but I'd like both of you guys' thoughts on this. So do you think we are, and not to take religion out of it, because I still think religion could happen, and I think anybody can still have this same thoughts, but do you think our civilization has started over? If you look at like how the pyramids are, and you can look at other great monuments that we've had, caves that's, underneath ground, in different parts of America that are huge, and just, you can tell there's villages. There's spots in Asia, the same thing. There's caves where you go through and it's been there for days. It takes you days to get out of it. I know in Kentucky, there's Mammoth Cave. It'll take you a couple days to get out of it. There's just so many different, they say Mount Shasta. There's people living inside Mount Shasta. So not to get too crazy, but my thoughts, and this is what I'm getting at, is if AI gets to a certain point, it becomes smarter than us, right? We get to a certain point, they then look at us as we're the inferior, we're the problem, right? But at a certain point, we can always go back, and it's kind of like that bicentennial thing where we can replace our organs and we can start living forever. So at what point does civilization restart over? And what I'm getting at is has it already happened? Have we got to an advanced part and then something happened, and this is why we still have these pyramids still standing? What do you guys think? What's your thoughts on the whole AI civilization restarting over? Aaron?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of theories like that. There's also the one where we came from Mars and that we previously all lived there, but we basically nuked it into oblivion. And then before it was completely done, we came here and basically resettled. And that's why, I mean, I think it was pretty much debunked, but there was this old footprint, and it was like a shoe print, and it had stitching like on the sole of it, but it was apparently just like millions of years old, which I'm pretty sure it was debunked. I could be wrong though, but there's a few theories along that. There's also the one that we're not even real, we're basically just a simulation, that kind of nonsense. Yeah, any of them could be true. I personally don't believe in any of them. I know that we are stupid old, like the Sumerians are from way back, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we haven't restarted, and if we did, we probably did nuke ourselves into oblivion. That's the most likely thing.
Okay, Jason, do you believe that we might have restarted civilization, like what Aaron was saying, maybe potentially coming from Mars and restarting here? Do you think AI could be setting that trend?
Maybe. As far as like religion go, I don't believe in any religion kind of a thing. Like I don't believe in any of that. So my thing is more like, I think it's something like a law, but something between either Stargate or Battlestar Galactica. We're somewhere in that range of what I believe how civilization is going. We're either going to find something that proves it, that we can get out there, or like he was talking about with being nuked and stuff like that with the Battlestar Galactica, the world just repeats itself, and there's aliens and or not androids, but androids and stuff like that just kind of repopulate, and Earth starts again somewhere else in the universe.
I like it. I like both. I like both thoughts because it is. There's a lot of theories out there, and it really does scare some people, and some people get really excited talking about it. I like talking about it, but I'm going to give it Kenny the floor. I'm going to let him ask some questions, and we'll give it to David. We got about 10 minutes left, guys, and we really appreciate both you guys coming on. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you guys coming as well. We ask different questions here. We have a little bit of fun. It's Friday night, and not every question is the same. And some questions, if you don't want to answer it, you can say strong pass. But I'm going to give it to Kenny, and Kenny, go ahead.
Okay, Jason and then Aaron. What's the food you usually refuse to share?
Share?
Refuse to share. You just won't share it no matter what, no matter who.
Don't touch my steak once I've got it cooked perfectly.
All right. Yeah. How about you, Aaron?
I don't think I have one. I share everything.
Yeah. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have an older sister, but I mean, we never really had that issue about sharing food. Just she was a little more picky than I was.
Okay. Aaron, what period would you travel to if you were given a time machine anytime?
I'd like to go back to like the 17th century just to see around. Maybe, if not that, go to the 20s.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. What about you, Jason?
I'm gonna have to agree with the 20s, man, because I like using the word dapper, and everything was dapper during that time.
Well, look at my
the way everybody dressed was, just the way everybody dressed with, the suits and how the women dressed and everything like that.
I agree.
They were just good. Like, if you guys ever looked up the band Postmodern Jukebox, they take all that new music and they put it in that nice swing style and everything from the 20s, and it's like, I've gone to a couple of their concerts. I've gotten dressed up. My girl was dressed up and everything like that. So, again, I would love to live in that time.
Yeah, you're both right on there. That's like the coolest time. I love the suspenders and the newsy caps.
Yeah.
My pants up to above my belly button and all that, and the nice shoes. And it's cool. It's like people took the time to like really look good, and like when they went out, they were like top and tails. They all knew how to dance. They were switching off dance partners. Nobody was like hitting on everybody else's girlfriend and trying to screw everybody, and then nobody was all wasted and elbowing each other in the face and yelling each other bro. It was beautiful, wasn't it? It was just I miss those days as well, even though I was never a part of them. All right, here's a crazy question for you guys, but it is the end of the show. How do you want to die? And I only ask this because I know Jason has been in Japan and they take that very seriously. I'm someone who doesn't want to die in his Pampers with an IV.
Yeah.
So I just don't want that. If I get any wind of something like that happening, I'm like becoming a skydiving specialist. And when I know I got nothing left, I'm just not going to pull that cord. So how do you guys want to die? Jason, you first.
At a Super Bowl parade.
You want to get trampled, or you just want to have a heart attack?
Either way, I mean, at least I've seen us win another Super Bowl. I'm good at that point.
So next Super Bowl, Jason, he's on just like roadkill, but he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Aaron?
Oh, probably just a car crash.
Ooh.
Something
like,
quick.
all right. Yeah. Well, do you like to drive?
Yeah.
There you go. So I always say you go out doing what you love. It's not a problem. I had a friend who died on a jet ski drunk, and that's how he lived. And nobody had a problem with that. And I'm sure he didn't have a problem with that either. He was just a nut, and that's who he was. So, hey, death is part of life. Don't be so scared. It's going to happen. Just make sure you tell everyone you love that you love them. Appreciate what you got while you have it.
Yep.
We can still talk about death and know it's coming and not be panicked about it or scared. So, all right, one last question for you guys. Who is the best movie villain? Aaron.
Oh, goodness.
Do you want to pass? If Jason has one, he can go, and then you can go? Or
Yeah, let's do that.
Jason, you got someone in mind, or you'd also need time? We can answer, too, if you guys need some time.
I think my favorite villain, going back to anime, has always been Vegeta. I like his arc. I don't know if you guys still watch or read Dragon Ball or anything like that. It's almost secular to the point where, now he's got he's not evil per se, but he's definitely going to do bad things to get his way.
You got someone in, Aaron, or you want me to answer?
Yeah, I was originally thinking going Star Wars, but no, I have to go with Joker.
Great one. Both great ones.
Yeah.
Can I tell you who mine is? It's the Jesus from The Big Lebowski. That's my favorite villain. I love that guy. Do you guys want to answer, David and Bryant? Your favorite villain in a movie?
David, you want to go? You got one?
I have to say Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a popular one, man.
I may have took Bryant's though. Sorry, buddy.
I actually,
Well, no, I kind of have to say it's really fair, and it's not just in film. It's really just, but I could do a different one. Maybe Doctor Doom.
Yes,
also awesome.
Dr.
I was
Doom.
gonna say Dr. Octopus. I love Doc Ock. I think he's one of the coolest characters in all of comics, and he gets no love. I know he's just
No.
wearing a tech. He's just wearing a tech thing, but I still think he's a really cool guy.
Dr. Doom's not a bad guy though. He's just doing what's good for Latveria.
Doom is super powerful, dude. Very underrated too.
Yeah, there's gonna be some pretty cool movies coming out, and if I heard correctly, Secret Wars is coming, and if I heard correctly, Robert Downey Jr. is back as Iron Man, so that might be something fun to watch if you guys are into the Marvel universe. I
Is
think
that a
at certain-
multiverse one?
Yeah.
Earth
I believe-
817 or something? Yeah, that's
I
cool.
I think at a certain point they kind of jumped the shark. But David, do you got any other questions for these two guys before we get out of here? And I'll finish out with my last.
What's your guys' favorite childhood memory? Start with Aaron.
Mine would probably be I was probably 11 or so. My mom took me to the Calaveras area of California, and we went to like some of the crystal mines and whatnot. And I was a big fan of the band Bare Naked Ladies back then. And
Good band.
I learned a lot about my family. Like I found out on that trip that she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know why I've never told you this, but you're related to Mark Twain." And I was like, "What?"
That's
like,
awesome.
You didn't tell me that when I was younger. Just like, hey, by the way, that guy you've read, yeah, you're related to him.
That guy's one of the greatest
Yeah.
writers in American history. So very cool, man.
Jason.
It's just got to be living in Japan. Back then, we used to be able to hop on what was called Mac flights for like $25 out of Japan at Yokota Air Force Base. And we used to go like, hey, like during our summers, we'd be like, hey, where are we going? Let's go to Cambodia. Let's go to Korea. Let's go to Laos. Let's go to the Philippines. It was $25. And that's how we spent our summers as a military kids, is we just kind of bounced around to different places like that. And that's, to me, like most people that I know have barely left the state of Washington, let alone left the country. If they have left the country, it's just Mexico or Canada. So it's kind of nice to know that, I've been to all these different countries, experienced all these different things that, most people haven't had a chance to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we've had a lot of fun. I'm going to ask you both last question, and we're going to drop our outro. But the outro's the giveaway for the jersey. Guys, last night to win it. If you want to try to win this signed Colin Kaepernick jersey, it's really nice. I'm really sad to let it go, but I'm going to let it go to somebody who hopefully is going to appreciate it and take care of it. And that's all I ask. That's all I ask. David, me, and Korey were trying to boost our subs a little bit, so we thought it'd be something nice to throw out, something red and gold. That's red and white, and it's authentic. It's official. So, guys, before we go, Aaron, if I was coming to your place, say this weekend, what are you cooking me? What are we having? Are we barbecuing? What are we doing?
We're grilling. We're absolutely grilling.
Are we grilling? Are we smoking? What are we doing? And the reason I say that, my brother's got a Traeger. So have you been able to play around with a Traeger? A Traeger is a smoker for people in the chat.
No, I've never used a smoker.
Okay, the reason I bring that up is my brother, he's been doing this Traeger thing, the smoker thing, right? And it's really, really cool. So we've been doing this pulled pork thing where you can take a pork butt and you put it in the smoker, and what you want to be able to do is pull the bone straight out. Boom, right? So it's about this thing called the bark. You want that flavor on the outside. And it's all about, what you put on it. Some people put mustard, some people put magic, it's all about that. So the reason I'm bringing it up, some people are car guys, some people are food guys. I'm a food guy. I'm a car guy. You know that. I like my Volkswagens, and Jason, and not know, I know you're a fan too of a lot of different things. So this question is for you as well. If I go up to your house, what are we doing? Are we grilling? Are we smoking? Are we going to a place to eat? I know I've always see you on Facebook, and you got different ways of cooking. And what's fun is you got gadgets. You're like Batman, but you're like a Batman cook. You got all these different things like to create something with. So if I come up to your house, what are we having for dinner?
First off, if you're using a Traeger, that's just an easy bake for grown-ups. Learn how to really smoke with
He's not
wood.
lying. Jason, you're not lying.
You bury it under 10 pounds of sand. That's what Jason's getting at.
Yes, we can have a loop. We can definitely.
I would love that.
I
would love to meet all you guys in Hawaii and have, what do they call that? A luau, right?
Yeah.
That would be sick, man. I would love that.
My new thing is that I've got on for probably about the last year or so is making burnt ends. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's pork belly, and you just cut it into strips and you just smoke it for hours. And then afterwards you take it, you put it in like a little aluminum foil. Typically you use barbecue sauce, a little bit of butter, and then you put it back on for a couple hours, and it literally just melts in your mouth. My new recipe is I use a Thai chili sauce, which is kind of like the Thai version of like a sweet and sour sauce. It's so much better. So that you show up at my house, I'm probably making some Thai burn ends.
All right. I appreciate it. And you are so right. The Traeger is super cool. It's like, like easy bake oven for adults.
That's exactly what it is.
You can Bluetooth it to your phone. I mean,
they can't have people burning down the house.
Oh,
I
man.
can teach you snake methods the best way. My Weber grill, I've had stuff smoking out there with the snake method for years.
So, guys, hope to see you guys come back. We both all three of us like you to come back for another guest interview sometime. We're going to keep trying to do this to have like an hour show and have different people come in and just have fun. But Jason, thank you so much for coming. And Aaron, man, guys, so much. I'm going to drop the outro. If you guys want to stick around in the back for a second, that's great. If you got to go, then again, thank you so much. Guys, please go check out Niner Faithful Radio. Okay. It's a great podcast, great YouTube channel. They're on like everything, right? Spotify, you're on like everything.
Everything.
Just
go find us.
Yeah, and you got a great co-host, and you just tell him I'm Batman. He should know. And yeah, with that, Aaron,
I'll let you guys fight
that. Aaron, you're always welcome on. Appreciate you as well. And guys, if you guys are interested, just hit us up. We'll be back. Please enter the giveaway. You guys want to win the jersey. If not, we still appreciate your subscriptions. And with that, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Check out the last video for the entry. Tonight's it. So good luck.